You are listening to the We Are West Ham podcast with me, Will Pugh, Tom Edwards, and James Jones. And we're all going on a European tour, a European tour, a European tour. What a team. What a win over Crystal Palace. The game has barely finished. About 12 minutes ago, the referee blew the final whistle at Selhurst Park. West Ham United 3, Crystal Palace 2. A dominant away performance after an early setback. We're fourth in the Premier League. We've never, ever seen anything like it. What a time to support West Ham. Only earlier, Jonesy, I was thinking back to the amount of endless evenings that we spent in the studio every Tuesday night at Love Sport Radio thinking, here we go again. Another hour and a half of talking about West Ham. It's so grim. Where is the light at the end of the tunnel? But the light at the end of the tunnel used to have ginger hair. He's got a deep Scottish accent, and winning is what he does. What a legend David Moyes is. What a legend Thomas Souček is. Just again, we are massive. What a time to be alive. Absolutely buzzing. Jonesy, Tom, brilliant to see you again, lads. What a performance. How's it going?
I'm still trying to get my head around it all, really. It's all just taking me by surprise a little bit. I know we've been good all this season, but that, for me, I know we'll get into it in a little bit more detail. Best performance of the season so far. I don't think I've enjoyed myself so much as I have done tonight watching that. 90 minutes of just superb football from all of them. Craig Dawson living in Zaha's head rent-free for 90 minutes was a particular highlight. Aaron Cresswell calling the referee a bell end. Just outstanding. Just absolutely class. And we're fourth in the league, chaps. I can't believe it.
Absolutely stunning stuff. Tom, 4 wins and a draw, 5 wins on the bounce, of course, if you take in the FA Cup. But that Premier League table, unbeaten in 5. That is league winning form right there. Do we just settle for the Champions League at the moment, or are we going all out for the win? Only 5 points behind Manchester United, who top the table at the moment. Granted, we have played one more game than them, but it really is quite something, isn't it?
It is. It's mental. And like you say, 6 wins on the bounce. We don't look like stopping anytime soon. We've put in our best performance of the season now in a cram schedule, and we've rested our big boys against Doncaster in the second team, and the reserve players stood up and they won 4-0 against what shouldn't be an easy tie against a high-flying Doncaster. So we've got the depth. We've got the mentality. David Moyes is, I don't want to sound like David Moyes, but it really is each game at a time now, as much as, we're fourth. Well, I remember in the 15-16 season getting giddy and doing the screenshots and taking it when we were fourth. But I think this year is a year, why can't we actually do it? And do it in a year when you've got Klopp, you've got Guardiola, you've got Mourinho, all in the same league. And let West Ham are up there punching and throwing a punch every time and going away and putting in performances like that. So I think each game at a time, still believe that why can't we go and do something a little special this year, because we've got the firepower to go and do it like we've proved in the last 5-6 games and continue to have since September.
So Jonesy, I'll throw to you first. You've already said it. The Crystal Palace game, what a time this is. I totally agree with you. Definitely the best performance of the season so far. I think we were emphatic throughout. And if Antonio had his shooting boots on, we could have won 5 or 6-2 rather than just the 3.
Yeah, I think if there's a game that you would point to as evidence of how far West Ham have come under David Moyes over the last year and a bit, it's that one. Away from home, 1-0 down after 2 minutes, we would normally crumble. We would normally, in a game like that, under any other previous manager in recent years, with any different or previous mentality, we would have crumbled and we would have lost that 2-3, 4-0. Instead, within 5 minutes, it's 1-0 and we go in at the break 2-1 and thoroughly deserved the victory. A bit frustrating that we conceded that one at the end, but obviously, it didn't matter. We'd done enough. It could have been 7 or 8-2, really. And just thoroughly enjoyable at the moment, isn't it? And the fact that we're fourth in the league, just absolutely almost lost for words, given, and I always say it, looking back at that first one of the season after Newcastle and going, here we go again, we've got another season, and here we are. And every single player tonight, particularly against Palace, just put in a shift, and that's all we ask, isn't it? That's all we ask is put a shift in, and if it's not enough on the day, it's not enough on the day. But no, more often than not this season, it has been enough, and I can't give enough credit to David Moyes and the rest of the players at the moment. It's just fantastic.
It is absolutely wonderful stuff. Tom, James has mentioned it there. I think we've all, or he's alluded to it. He hasn't mentioned it because I know his ego wouldn't be able to take it. But he's basically said, what I've taken from it is thank you to Manuel Pellegrini for laying the big team mentality foundations as he did, and that we're finally seeing those come to fruition. But James is right. I was saying, watch the game with my dad, and I totally agree. I just said the same thing. As soon as they scored, it's so weird that you don't think, oh, well, that's game over then. It's just really
Whereas
odd.
last season, it was, well, that's it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I mean. It's just weird. Like they scored after 2 minutes or whatever it is. And you're like, oh, that's a bit of a setback, but no problem because we've easily got 2 or 3 goals in us. And Tom, that's exactly what we saw. And I think you've just got 11 players there. All of them are brimming with confidence, aren't they?
That's it. And I think, it's weird actually having 11 good players and not having a critical person who's going to let you down, or you've got a midfielder who can't keep up with the pace, i.e. what we saw in Chelsea's game with Noble. I'm not saying he's not a good player. He comes on and does his job. Yeah, exactly. Just a weak link, someone who sticks out like a sore thumb. Now you go through it. But I was watching a game with my missus and she turns to us, who's been your best player today? I go, Bonner, Dawson, Soufal, Ben Rama. You can't stop because they've all been brilliant. I think that's the beauty of it. We don't have a superstar. Fine, we got Declan Rice, arguably one of the best young talents in European football at the minute. But he doesn't take the game by the scruff of the neck without the help of his others right now. We've got everyone chipping in, everyone showing how good they are. We've got a centre midfielder who scored 10 in 33 Premier League games since he joined us, which is better than the majority of strikers we've ever had in the Premier League era. And we've just got talent all around the park now in that front three, and it's just gelling. And I think that you can see watching it that there's a genuine belief that nobody is better than us now. And I think we had a little lull, maybe doubting ourselves just before Christmas and how far can this team go? Are we just going to stay mid-table? And I think we've overcome that. And I think Moyes' selection away at Everton and that started setting the tone. And I think now that there's a genuine belief in that side that we can go on and this is what we should be achieving this season in the situation we're in. I hope that mentality continues because they showed again tonight that they beat a very good Palace side very convincingly and we deserved it, which doesn't happen that often.
No, that's it. And for me, James was taking a mickey at me earlier in the season saying how, you're always angry when even if we win. And I think, to be quite frank, the difference is that I think there was a few that we got away with earlier in the season. Fulham and Aston Villa spring to mind off the top of my head straight away. And, it's not me being facetious or anything saying that we got away with those. But in recent games, that's what I absolutely loved, is that we have been the better team in every single game. And we've just taken the game to the opposition and just gone toe to toe with people and been better. It's not like we're relying on a bit of luck or a missed penalty or a tight VAR decision or whatever. Today was another example. We put 3 in away from home, which is a fantastic achievement for any team in the league, whatever position you're in. Mm-hmm. It could have been 5 or 6. They weren't half chances from Antonio. All of them were, they could easily have cannoned in off him from 5 or 6 yards or whatever. And I think that's what I'm enjoying so much more, is that we're having more of the ball. We're attacking with intent and the defense looks really solid as well. And more than anything, Tom, what you just said there, every man bar none is just, Mark Noble always said it, isn't he? I don't really care at West Ham. As long as if we come off the pitch and we've outrun and outworked the other team, then I'm happy. The rest of the stuff comes or it goes. And that's what you're seeing tonight. I think Vladimir Soufal, honestly, he might, if you took the ball away, he just did full, I'm talking 100% speed sprints, the full length of the pitch for 90 minutes. Didn't stop. It was like the 87th minute. And I again, saying to my dad, he just joined another attack. And he's absolutely sprinting back, trying to keep up with Wilfred Zaha, who he had in his pocket, as James mentioned. at the same time as getting involved as well. I just think it's so impressive. And again, not to bang on the same drum that James has said, but you've got to applaud Moyes, because he's changed that mentality round from a man who went into that job as a bit of an isolated figure, very little support from the fans and the wider football community. I think hats off, and me, as much as anyone else who doubted him, should be more than happy to eat humble pie now, which I am, and because I think it's going absolutely brilliant. Jonesy, what was your sort of take on the game and the goals, a bit more the nitty gritty of it tonight? Some good goals. Antonio unlucky, and again, even Palace's goals, I didn't mind them going in because I thought we were undone by some good passage of play and nice finishes.
Yeah, I think Palace's opener was semi-frustrating in that, they know what Zaha's capable of, and just to give him that amount of space in and around that sort of at the edge of the area so early on in the game was just a little bit frustrating.
He didn't have that much, though.
Well, I mean, you notice it for the rest of the game, they were pretty tight to him. They just gave him that extra yard. But it can't. I mean, that's just picking it.
Don't you think he did well?
He did well, yeah, of course, but for the rest of the game, he didn't get sniffed, did he? Because suddenly, Bono, Dawson, Soufal were just like, right, okay, you're not getting that extra half yard that we gave you in the first minute. But then our first goal was, again,
you're actually good. Maybe we'll mark you.
Yeah, exactly. Our first goal just sums up the mentality that David Moyes has put into the team. Antonio chasing down that ball, and it looked like it was about to go out of play. Gets the ball in, and Souček probably, I would say, and don't quote me on this if he loses form, but probably the most lethal central midfielder that's ever lived, particularly from set pieces. Like he's always there. You put a ball in the box and he's there, isn't he? And then the free kick again to go 2-1 up. If it's not Antonio getting into that, then it's Souček. But I thought just even at 1-0, we were just the first to every second ball. Benrahma, Tom mentioned it earlier, Benrahma sort of getting in behind their midfield and running at the defence, and he's always got options right or left. And that's the Benrahma that we've been sort of craving ever since he joined the club, and he's now getting that run of games, now getting that confidence to be able to get on the ball and show what he's capable of, and start creating those chances, getting behind that midfield and start running at defences. And it offers something a little bit different to what we haven't done. Like Lanzini used to be good at it, that hasn't done it recently. And I think it was Benrahma that really gave us that outlet today, because he was just everywhere. And then defensively, we were just solid, absolutely solid, apart from that first minute hiccup. So yeah, all round great performance. I think Bowen was a little bit quiet, and he has been quiet for the last few games, I think. But we're forgiven for that, given that he's been integral this season anyway. What, Bowen?
Yeah, he scored the other day, didn't he? The one he chested in from about 4 yards.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he has been.
Apart from scoring, he's been quiet.
Yeah, he has been quiet. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he hasn't done a great deal other than put the ball in the back of net, because I don't even realise he scored. Did he? And he was quiet tonight. He was quiet. And I'm actually surprised that he stayed on the pitch longer than he did. To be fair, I thought he was the first to be hooked, but I thought he'd be hooked a little bit earlier. But yeah, just all around great performance, and yeah, thoroughly deserved. Just a shame Antonio kept aiming at the post for some bizarre reason. But yeah, happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Antonio thing, that was hilarious. And any of you who don't already follow West Ham clips on Twitter, who have bigged it up for the alternative commentary they do, if you do listen, you'll know that the hilarious post sound effect is going to be going crazy on those videos this week. Tom, I know we've got a lot to cover on tonight's show, so we'll have to move on quickly. I did think that was hilarious. Antonio he's just absolutely lost the plot when the third one that he missed cannoned off his shin and went wide after he'd already hit the post twice. He's just lost his head, and Checo Chiarti's looking at him like, what are you doing, mate? You're 3-1 up, you're obviously going to win. But yeah, what did you make sort of the on BT Sport? Did you sort of agree with that? And was there anyone
Souček.
who you thought, yeah, Souček, yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought any central midfielder who scores two, he deserves it. And it wasn't just that. I think the thing which is lost in the social media and all the sort of memes that are made about him, because yeah, he is this 6'4" lanky guy from Czech Republic who loves potato salad. But at the end of the day, he's unbelievable going backwards. He wins tackles. He's brilliant in the air at both ends in both boxes. He's creative. He makes good runs, and he's got the ability to stick chances away when it's not easy. The second chance from that free kicks come at him so quick, just to be able to caress that as he does and then put it in near post and sneak it in. That takes a top footballer to be able to have that ability to do that. So he's got way more to his game. He did deserve it for me, but not just because of his goals. He does a lot going backwards. Rice wouldn't be the same player without him next to him. And the whole back four wouldn't look as solid as it did without Souček's running, his long levers and his ability to win the ball high up the pitch. So he deserved it. But like you said, Antonio missed a few chances. He absolutely did. But when have we had a striker who gets as many good chances as him? He's in around a 6-yard box. He gets about 3 or 4 chances to score a game, which are good chances. He's also got the ability, though, on Arnautovic House to make chances on his own, picking it up out wide left, beating him centre half and making that half yard to get a shot away. We haven't had a striker like that since Arnie. He's in the right area. Today it didn't cost us. In the future, maybe I'll be berating him and saying he needs to be more clinical, but he has been clinical up to this point this season. And it was just one of those days. If your striker does that every week, you're going to get 15, 20 a season. So long may it continue, but Viva Souček, because he deserves it. Big Tom's numbers are very underrated in this Premier League by other fans.
Absolutely, mate. Totally agree with you. There's I'm trying to sort of put it all into perspective. Obviously, West Ham played 20 games, and which is the most in the top 10 at the moment. So some more games coming up. I'm sure we may end up dropping out of that top 4 bracket once all the games are even. But great reading so far. West Ham 20 games played, 10 wins, 5 draws, 5 defeats, 35 points, 30 goals scored, 24 against, and a +6 goal difference. Imagine that. West Ham United just past the halfway point of the season.